Recapture lost cards with focused retargeting.
Owners. Fun fact though, I didn't have a gym, but I figured if I go to a mastermind of gym owners, I'm gonna learn so many of the things that they made mistakes on when they started their gym. They're gonna have opinions on how I should lay out the square footage, what locations I should pick, what model I should use. And so rather than say, oh, I'm just gonna find out all these failures on my own and take 5 times as long, I was like, I'd rather pay $10,000 to pull 5 years forward into the present. And so I was able to get that first location up and profitable and outsourced by month 9. Now, some of the guys in the mastermind were at year 5 and still hadn't done that. I pay down my ignorance tax as much as I possibly can because the cost of you not being able to achieve your dreams, the price is ignorance. And the debt that you pay is the distance between where you are and how much you'd be making if you knew how to do it. I've told this story before, but I think it's something that's so ingrained in how I think in terms of how I price what I'm willing to pay in time or money. And before I tell that story, I move geographically whenever I see an opportunity to get around someone who's better than me. And so when I wanted to learn fitness stuff, I moved to an area where I knew there was other fitness entrepreneurs that I was like, well, maybe I'll be able to hang out with them a little bit and I'll learn a little bit there. And I went to a city that I didn't know anything about. I knew no one. And when I wanted to get in the gym space, I said, well, California is like the capital of fitness, SoCal. So I'm going to move out to Southern California because the best guys will be there. And if I can win there, I'll be able to win anywhere. And so I moved out to California without knowing anyone. Whenever I've had these big transitions in my life, it's not only being willing to bet with my money and bet with my time, but also bet with my geographic location. I'm willing to risk losing the relationships that I had to gain relationships that I need. And so 2025 for you might mean that you have to leave where you're at. And that could mean across town, but it could also mean across the country or even across into a different country. It may mean that you're gonna take all this money that you used to spend here and spend it in an entirely different way. You probably are gonna have less stuff, and that's okay because that stuff only deteriorates, it only gets worse, but you will only get better. Don't invest in Dogecoin. Don't even invest in the S&P 500. Invest instead in the SME 500. Invest in you because you will always beat a 10% return in the stock market. And if you think that Dogecoin is going to out-compete your personal growth, you're never going to win. Anyone can get rich fast as long as you're willing to make no money for a long period of time while you work to get good enough to get rich fast. And so I told you I'll tell you that story. The story goes like this. A guy is actually using this as a sales close to an audience. He wrote $1 million